12 tribes of Israel.
Yes.
I think a lot of people watching me have heard that before, especially Ghana, where Rasta is a bit popular over here. You've heard about 12 tribes, 12 tribes. So 12 tribes is another branch of Rastafari.
Yes.
Enlighten us on that. Why the name 12 tribes? Because it sounds so Christian. Right. At least Bobo Ashanti is like it's taking you back to your roots. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But 12 tribes is like, to me, it's like very lost.
Right.
So, but you can probably enlighten us on that.
I mean, so my knowledge of what I have of 12 tribes. 12 tribes is basically following the 12 tribes of Israel. Right? You got Judah, Gad, Daniel. I mean, all these different sons that made up that tribe.
Yeah.
From the biblical 12 tribes of Israel. It's the sons of Israel.
Okay.
So basically, they take on the tribe that they're in based on the month of their birth. Right? So if you were born in a certain time, if I was in 12 tribe, I would have been part of Judah, the house of Judah.
Or you'll be a part of house of Judah.
Yes.
Meaning what?
Meaning that's the tribe in Israel that I would belong to.
Okay.
Right?
Uh-huh.
So it's and how can I correlate that is if anybody is familiar with the Hebrew Israelites, that's basically how they break down their system as well, based on the different houses of Israel, based on the 12 sons.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of Israel. Yeah. So that's the difference between us and 12 tribes. They break it down into those sections. Yeah. But then the overall principle and concept is the same.
Okay.
Right?
Is Emperor Haile Selassie still the figure for them?
But then within the 12 tribe principle, they also acknowledge Christ.
Oh.
Himself,
okay.
Right?
They acknowledge Christ himself.
Yeah. So.
And they acknowledge Haile Selassie. So where do they put Haile Selassie and Christ? Do they put them as twin brothers or what?
Well, listen. I don't want to speak too much of that because
I understand.
I don't want to speak in something that
it's not your field. Yes,
it's not my field. But just the overall concept of 12 tribes.
Yeah.
That's what I see. But like I said, the overall tenets of Rastafari is that we hold His Majesty in high esteem as our God, as our Creator.
Yeah.
Right. And in some fields, they might have their different nuances based on how they see themselves. Like I said, when the division happened.
Yeah.
Not really a division, but when the separation happened, when people had to disperse themselves in different aspects, people started to now read and within their own understanding, started to cater a situation into their own favor and into how they see it for themselves.
Will you be able to see a 12 tribe person, in a crowd, or when he's walking towards you, or when you go to Rastafari meet anywhere? Will you be able to identify a 12 tribe?
You wouldn't be able to identify a 12 tribe different from a Nyabingi. The only way you'll be able to identify, only people that's really identifiable is the Bobo Shanti or because of your turban.
Yeah.
And that's your ID, that's your signature ID.
Okay.
But now a lot of people are wearing turbans.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then now you have also something that we left out, which is the Ethiopian Orthodox Church.
Yes. Okay.
Right? Which in that aspect is part of Rastafari, but it's more of the ancient Ethiopian Coptic religion that they're following.
Okay, so that is also another branch of Rastafari.
Well, not really a branch. But it's a part of the movement, because you have a lot of brothers and sisters that come into the faith that goes in that direction, being that because this is what His Majesty himself was following.
Okay.
He was a member of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church.
Yeah.
Right? And he talks about the church. When you study His Majesty, he talks about the church. Right? He talks about leadership. And when he was coming to Jamaica, that's something that he established in Jamaica. Was the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. He sent a priest and a Buna there to teach the people about the ways of how he worshiped in his spiritual practice.
Okay. Right? So typically, if we are talking about different types of Rastafari, there are only three main ones.
Right.
I think that's what we've touched on, right?
Right. So
that is the Nyabingi.
Well, you have the Bobo Shanti, you have the Nyabingi, you have the 12 tribe, you have EWF, which is the Ethiopian World Federation.
Or EWF.
EWF. So you have the EWF, and then you could put in Ethiopian Orthodox.
So the
Church as well.
EWF, how is also that different from Bobo Ashanti?
Well, the EWF was something that was organized and formed by His Majesty as well. Because when he came to Jamaica in 1966, in April of 1966, and all the different houses of Rastafari came to visit and met him at King's House, and he was handing out medals to all these different leaders at the time of these different organizations of Rastafari. And he was saying that, one thing that we need to do as a group of people, we need to organize and centralize,
Okay.
so we could work under one banner.
Yeah.
And the EWF was something that was put into place where we could all come under one banner
Okay.
to deal with the works of repatriation,
All right.
to deal with the works of building the minds of the people of the diaspora, to gear them and ready them to go back home to Africa.
Boom! Anyway, we've been listening to Prince Dean for a while now, and somebody is also wondering, Zozo has a Rasta on there too, they want to know whether he's also Nyabingi or 12 Tribes or Bobo Ashanti or EWF or Zozo Rastafari, it's quite very interesting to see that when this whole evolution happened for Rastafari, spirituality, you guys came with a certain type of look.
Yeah.
Which is the look of having this sort of hair.
Yes.
Do you have any idea where that one also came from? Because why is it that Rastafari decided that this is what we want to wear?
Right. So there's many different aspects we could talk about. For me, in my studies and history of researching Rastafari and locks and everything, right? So in the 1930s, going back to the 1950s, the locks didn't really come in until in the 50s, right? Before, it was beard, right? Just like how you see His Majesty, because His Majesty never had any locks.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
Marcus Garvey didn't have any locks.
Yeah.
Right? So how did the locks come about? Right? So there's several different ways that we could discuss that. So there's a tribe in Kenya that was fighting the rebellion.
Yeah.
Called the Mama.
The Mama.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? They were leading a rebellion, and they were warriors that was fighting against colonialism. Right? And during the wartime, they didn't cut their hair, they didn't comb their hair, so they developed these locks. And it was a symbol of rebellion, a symbol of people standing up to fight against colonial oppression.
All right.
And also, something that drew fear into the adversaries as well, because that's what they call it, dread. Dreadlocks.
Yeah.
When you break down the word dread,
yes.
the
Fear.
word is fear.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a dreadful look onto these people, these invaders that's coming. When they see them, just the very looks alone scare people. Right? So that was one of the signatures of the Mama warrior.
Okay.
In Jamaica, we were so in tune to what was going on the continent.
Yeah.
Right?
Because you were longing to come back to the continent, so you were in tune with what's happening here.
So that was going on to the continent. When you think about, reggae music,
yeah,
which we call rebel music.
Yeah.
It was talking about the struggles of Africa. It was talking about the struggles of black people in the West.
Yeah.
It was talking about the oppression that we were going through colonialism. So in coming up through that, we adopted the locks as a symbol of resistance.
Yeah, so the influence came from the Mau people.
So the influence came from the Mau people. Now, if you want to break it down, our hair is of wool.
Yeah.
I don't care if you decide to be Rasta or not, but if you don't comb your hair or do anything to your hair, it will lock.
Yeah, it automatically lock.
Right? Yeah. So that's something that's natural, right? And if you look from it now, as some of people that say that we are reverting back to an Ita lifestyle, which is a natural way of living.
Yeah.
Right? We won't put any comb, any razor, any perm, any chemicals in our hair, which we said that our hair is our antennas that connect us to the universe, to the Almighty, to nature, right? So the locks becomes a symbol of strength. Like when you read in the Bible, you talk about Samson. He had 7 locks, and the locks was a symbol of his strength, right? So biblically, when you read the Bible, it talks about the locks and the meaning of the locks through the vow of a Nazarite. So a lot of Rastafari now adopted that in terms of when we come into Rastafari, we took the vow of a Nazarite.
Yeah, so there's an influence from the African perspective of the Mau Mau. And then now you go into your biblical books,
Yes.
and then there is something that also talks about the type of hair you have is actually what you're supposed to have.
Yes.
It confirms it, so it makes it spiritually, okay for us.
It gives you your identity as well.
Identity as well.
And then for me, with your locks, the identity of your locks, it becomes something of a rebellion against the social structure of what you're supposed to be. Right?
Yeah.
Clean cut.
Comb your hair.
Which is following a European standard of beauty. Right? Because even our empresses, our women, our queens, they're following the status of European beauty standards. So that's why they straighten their hair and they do these things to themselves for them to be looking like how European women look. And that's not something that we as Rasta we uphold. We want the natural beauty of ourselves, the natural way of living. That's how we see ourselves. So to have locks now is a symbol of I am standing for this cause. I'm rebelling against this system. I'm rebelling against this society that's oppressing my people. And when you see me in my uniform, you know what I represent and you know what I stand for. That's what it was in that time.
Anyway, I think I would like to take it to Africa again. That as I said, somebody also watching and asking which group do I belong to. So people ask me, and then they say, "Oh, you are Rasta," and I said, "Yes," and then they said, "Oh, so you believe in Haile Selassie?" And I said, "No." And they say, "Oh, but you are Rasta," and I said, "Yeah." And they say, "Oh, do you do this, do that? Are you Bobo Shanti?" I said, "No." So it confuses a lot of people. But then the education here is, as you said, that Mau Mau people in Kenya, they were having dreadlocks and they were warriors. The same original warriors were also in this part of our world, West Africa. So when I started growing my hair, it wasn't about the concept of Rastafari, Emperor Haile Selassie movement. It was for the fact that, one, myself, I never enjoyed to cut my hair. It's something that I never like. Anytime I cut my hair, I look at myself, I don't like it. So there was something just not right. And I have plenty hair. And I keep telling myself that there must be something about my hair growing like that. Why do I want to cut it? Okay? So I don't cut it. And then I decided that I can't be combing it every time too because it's locking on its own. So I must just decide to actually do locks because I can't comb it. So I'll do locks. But come back to research. In Ghana, then there is a tree word, a kind word called Mpese. If you have locks,
you're Mpese.
You are Mpese. You know what I mean? And then all these Mpese people are people that used to work at our shrine. So rolling the story back, I could see a lot of our priestess and priests in locks at the shrine. You get what I mean? But at the time that I was growing my hair, I wasn't looking at that direction. It was after living in New Zealand for a while and I came back and I'm trying to find out what is it about the hair. So Mpese is the name. But then you roll it again, Mpese. So to pese means to seek something, to find something. So Mpese means that somebody who is a seer or a knowledge seeker. He's constantly seeking knowledge. And that is the name our ancestors gave to people with this type of hair. And so I see myself as an Impese. And I don't see myself that I am Nyabingi or I am Bobo Shanti or I am the authentic African that believes in the natural hair. And that is, I think, is just African. And I live it like that. And so I'm unable to tell people that, oh, I am in Pese because they will not understand me from why I'm saying I am Pese.
Right.
But I think that we all walk around the world with the same look, but our story is linked to Africa.
Yes.
And we are all looking to get back to our roots. So when you guys left the shores over here, the Mpese was with you people.
Of course.
And when you found the story, the Mpese came back.
Of course.
But through a different angle. Does every Rasta man smokes weed?
No.
Did you guys hear that?
No. And it's not a prerequisite to being a Rastafari. I know some that don't smoke.
Yeah.
But I know that they use the herb for medicine.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because it's a medicinal plant. Right? I know some that don't even use the herb at all.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make you
Yeah.
less Rasta or more Rasta if you smoke or you don't smoke.
What's the relevance of the smoke itself in Rastafari? Because you go with that. What was the relevance of the smoke in Rastafari?
Okay, so when we
Does
see
it play any role?
we see the herb as a spiritual sacrament.
Zo TV Talking Points. Do not change the dial. Stay tuned.